Hello my friends, welcome to English Tour. Well, it may seem strange. I have been making many videos about preparing for the IELTS exam and of course I will continue to do so, but the new and unbelievable changes to the TOEFL exam forced me to make a video for it. In 2026, the TOEFL test is not just changing, it's being completely transformed. Shorter, smarter, easier, and more practical than ever before. The new TOEFL could change the way millions of students prepare for English exams. Starting January 21st, 2026, ETS is introducing changes that I believe are a real revolution in the TOEFL test. And today we are going to break down exactly what's new and what it means for you. With over 13,000 institutions in 160 countries accepting TOEFL, these updates will affect more than 1 million test takers every year. So, if TOEFL is part of your future, you need to understand what's changing and how to prepare the right way. Okay, let's dive into the details. Now, let's focus on one of the most important changes in TOEFL 2026. Its adaptive nature. This means the test reacts to you. Unbelievable, man. The number of questions you receive in each section depends on how well you answer the earlier questions. If you perform strongly at the beginning, the test becomes more challenging and you may even receive more questions. Another key point is time management. The time allocated to each section is not completely fixed anymore. Depending on your performance, the time you get in certain sections may increase or decrease. So, no two test takers will have exactly the same experience. The number of questions and the amount of time available can vary from person to person. This makes TOEFL 2026 more personalized, but also means you must be well prepared from the very first question. Okay, great. Now let's talk about the overall structure and scoring of the TOEFL after January 21st, 2026. According to ETS, the new TOEFL test will take around 2 hours to complete. So, compared to the older versions, the exam is shorter and more efficient. Even better, candidates will be able to see their scores within 72 hours in their personal ETS account. When it comes to speaking and writing, the scoring system remains the same as before. Your responses will still be evaluated using a combination of artificial intelligence and human raters, which helps keep the scoring both fast and fair. Alright, now let's talk about the scoring system. In the past, TOEFL scores were reported on a scale from 1 to 120, and that score is not going away. You will still receive your traditional TOEFL score, just like before. However, starting January 2026, ETS is introducing an additional score, a new scale from 1 to 6. So, instead of just one number, candidates will now receive 2 scores. The familiar 1 to 120 TOEFL score and a new 1 to 6 proficiency score, which makes results easier to understand and compare. This new scale is designed to give universities and candidates a clear picture of language level, similar to how other international exams report proficiency like IELTS. In the table you see here, you can check how the old 120 skill scores match the new 1 to 6 system and what each level actually means. So we've come to the main point. Now we are going to review the 4 sections of speaking, writing, reading, and listening together to see what changes will be made. And of course, I will show you important samples in each section. Now, let's start with the speaking first. In TOEFL 2026, speaking is shorter, simpler, and much closer to real-life communication. There are only 2 speaking tasks, but both require strong fluency, pronunciation, and listening accuracy. So let's move on to the first task, listen and repeat. Can you believe it? In this task, you don't have to talk about a specific topic at all. You just have to listen and repeat. Wow. You will usually hear 7 sentences, all set in academic or university context. As the task continues, the sentences become longer and more complex. For each sentence, you will have about 8 to 12 seconds to record your response. But don't let it fool you. As you can see in this sample, the sentences get harder and more complex as you go along. This task still requires a lot of practice, but for many people, this can be easier than speaking at length. But I repeat it again, even small pronunciation or word order mistakes can affect your score, so focus and attention are crucial. Alright, now let's talk about task 2, take an interview. In the final speaking task, you will take part in a short interview. The situation might involve applying for a scholarship, participating in a research project, or academic or professional collaboration. You will answer 4 interview-style questions, and for each question, you will have 45 seconds to speak. Unlike the old TOEFL format, this feels much more like a real interview. So now let's have a general comparisons. In TOEFL 2025, the speaking section had 4 different tasks, a mix of direct and integrated questions, heavy task switching between skills. But in TOEFL 2026, speaking is simplified into listen and repeat, just 7 academic sentences, and take an interview, you just answer 4 questions in 45 seconds each. Okay, so far so good. Now let's move on to the writing section of the TOEFL 2026. And this is another part that has changed significantly. In the new version of the test, the writing section consists of 3 shorter and more practical tasks instead of long academic essays. First task is build a sentence. Oh my goodness, wow. In the first task, you will listen to a short conversation between 2 people, okay? After that, you will see a group of jumbled words and your job is to arrange them into a clear, correct sentence that accurately reflects the meaning of the conversation. Wow, if you compare it to the last version, you can see the difference between these two. It's so much easier, man. It's just build a sentence. And in the second task, you will be asked to write an email. For example, you might need to make a proposal, send an invitation, or suggest a solution to a problem. You will have 7 minutes to plan and write your email. I know that this might be a short time, but be careful. In this new version, you will write as much as you can. So clarity and organization matter more than length. So this task focuses on real-life written communication, not an academic writing. And in the final writing task, you will take part in an academic discussion. First, a professor presents a theory or idea. Then you must express your own opinion, supported by reasons and examples. You can also see the opinions of other students, which helps you understand different perspectives before writing your response. You will have 10 minutes to complete this task, and this is much lower than the previous version of this test. So in TOEFL 2025, you are facing an integrated task combining reading and listening, an independent essay, and a total writing time of 30 minutes, and you had to write a lot of words. But in TOEFL 2026, the writing section has been registered into 3 short practical tasks, no traditional long essay, and more focus on emails and online discussions. This is much simpler than the writings of previous years, which really brought the candidates to tears. Okay, great. Now let's move on to the reading section of the TOEFL 2026, and this is one of the parts that has changed the most. In this new version, the reading section consists of three different types of tasks. Task 1, complete the words. Do you believe that? Wow. In the first task, you will see a short academic text, usually between 70 and 100 words. Some words are incomplete, and your job is to fill in the missing letters. Wow, look guys, it's really unbelievable. Compare that to the long academic texts of the past, which were really boring and made candidates anxious. This is really a wonderful change. But don't let it fool you. You still need vocabulary knowledge, and you still need to understand words in context. So memorizing vocabulary alone is not enough. You need to recognize how words work inside a sentence. You must practice a lot. Okay, great. The second task focuses on everyday English. You will read short non-academic texts, usually between 15 and 100 words. That's ridiculous, man. 15 and 150 words. Compare it to the past. Wow. This could be emails, blog posts, notices, online messages. You will normally read 2 or 3 short texts, each followed by multiple choice questions. The longer or more detailed the text is, the more question it will have. This part tests how well you can understand real life written English, not just academic language. Okay, and now let's get to the last task, read an academic passage. You will read a short academic passage, usually around 200 words. The level is similar to what high school students are expected to understand. The topics can include history, art and music, business and academics, life and physical sciences, and social sciences. Each passage is followed by 5 multiple choice questions. And that's all. So in TOEFL 2025, reading included 3 to 4 long academic texts, each about 700 words. Wow! But in TOEFL 2026, this has completely changed. The reading section is now shorter, multiple stage, and adaptive. The test starts with basic questions, and then the second stage becomes easier or harder based on your performance. Okay, great. Now let's take a look at the last section, the listening part. In this section, you will listen to audio files based on academic and campus-related topics. One important point is accent variety. You may hear speakers with accent from North America, the United Kingdom, Australia, or New Zealand. So it's essential to train your ear from different types of English accents. The listening section in TOEFL 2026 includes 4 main tasks. Task number 1, listen and choose a response. In this task, you listen to a sentence or a short question and then choose the correct response from the options. Wow, that's ridiculous, man. It's so much easier than before. These recordings usually involve academic situations. But there is a key point here. The audio is not shown as text on the screen, so you must rely completely on your listening accuracy and concentration. Now let's get to the task 2, listen to a conversation. In the second task, you will listen to a dialogue between 2 people in an academic setting. After listening, you answer 2 questions related to the dialogue. These skills are extremely important for real-life academic communication. Task number 3, listen to an announcement. In this task, you will hear short announcements from academic environments. The audio is usually between 40 and 85 words, and it may include things like schedule changes, campus events, rules and regulations, students' achievements, or instructions. The questions focus on your ability to understand practical details such as time and location, directions and routes, or required actions. And finally, the last task, listen to an academic talk. In the final listening task, you will hear a short academic lecture, usually between 100 and 250 words. After the lecture, you will answer 4 questions that test your deep understanding of the content, not just simple facts. So in TOEFL 2025, the listening section included 3 to 4 academic lectures, 2 to 3 conversations, about 28 fixed multiple choice questions, and total time 36 minutes. But in TOEFL 2026, the listening section is shorter, around 30 minutes, adaptive, and more interactive and realistic. So as you can see, TOEFL 2026 is not just a new version of the test, it's completely new way of measuring English. The exam is shorter, adaptive, and much closer to real-life communication. Long academic tasks have been replaced with practical skills. This means one important thing: old preparation methods are no longer enough. Memorizing templates and long essays won't help you succeed anymore. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you soon. Goodbye.